Nether update was supposed to redo the entire Nether.
I mean, the Nether hasn't been updated in forever. It seems still basically what it was when they started.
I mean, they had the like wither skeletons because I don't remember that when I started.
Yeah, those are
and the fortresses
fairly new, but the fortresses are still.
No, they're still.
They haven't changed since
old.
they haven't changed since they added them. But
I'm trying to think because like I play more modded Minecraft, so I don't know because I'm used to like bees have been a thing since.
Yeah, you brought that up. Like I never play modded just because I don't know. There's so much more I'd have to learn to it, and there's a lot. Yeah, and a lot of what I do is just dicking around by myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like modded would be fun if I had people that knew what they were doing. They're able to show me stuff. Maybe
it's so much work. It is
brutal. Exactly. I don't know if I want to do that. I kind of just want to play and have fun a little bit. I haven't really done anything with bees though since they added them.
What can you even do with bees?
I don't know.
Like I'd assume make honey to make food.
Well, they have honey blocks. They added.
They act like sticky.
They're like slime blocks but they're slightly different. They don't stick to slime blocks.
Yeah.
And if you're on a honey block and you move the honey block with a piston, it'll move the player along with it. Like the player sticks to it. Yeah. But not if you're standing next to it. Only if you're standing on top of it, which is kind of lame.
It does make sense though.
Yeah.
So you're not just like because then someone could chain it to float in air. But
yeah.
No, it's pretty sweet.
So they do something, but I don't know if you can farm them in a way. I don't know. There's like crazy automated farms for them, like there is for pretty much every other mob. But
why? What do they drop you besides honey?
I don't think anything. Like I said, I haven't touched them. You're the one that said you knew about bees.
No, I just knew they added the bees. I haven't played on a. I think the last actual Minecraft update I played on was 1.12.3. Was that the aquatic update?
Was that? I thought it was 1.14 was for aquatic.
Oh, then maybe I played on that. I played with the drowns.
No. 1.13 was aquatic. 14 was the foxes and that whole village.
Okay, no, we did play on that, but I didn't. We only played that one server.
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah. Because I know we had a fox, like a little family of foxes, and that was it.
But I don't know that. The aquatic update is still probably my favorite. In recent times. It was pretty cool.
Like the fish, they changed fishing a lot, and they added dolphins, which was.
They added dolphins. They added fish. They added drown. They added all the coral and stuff. They added.
Yeah, they did a lot to it. That was.
You could waterlog blocks or slabs and stairs and stuff. So you can put stairs and stuff underwater.
But they completely ruined mob farms for that short bit because you had to use those. What do you call those? Lava block, like magma blocks under the water, and then like each block to get like to pull you down or push you up. You had to have a source block all the way up instead of just like if you put a source block and then a sign and then another source block and a sign, a source block, a sign, it will send you all the way up, and now you had to use those stupid.
What is that harder?
No, it was just.
You just had to redo things, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the whole soul sand elevators and stuff. I think those are easier.
But like I mean like for drown farms it's not easier.
Well, there were no drown farms before the aquatic
update. No, I know, but like yeah, no, it's true.
I don't know.
And it makes it look nicer.
I was gonna say, are there anything useful you can get from drowns? But I guess tridents.
Yeah, and tridents are pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Especially when like you have the channeling one where you can strike things with lightning.
Oh, I wasn't thinking that one. If you have loyalty, it always comes back to you, and then if you have it,
Riptide. That's where you can like throw it and move. And then if it's raining, you can use that and fly.
With an elytra?
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's pretty cool. You go so fast with that.
Yeah, it breaks servers when you do that because you can travel like 10,000 blocks a second, which is.
Yeah, it's a pretty insane thing. I don't know. I don't understand why exactly they did that with the tridents and with the elytra.
It's nice.
I like it.
And then fireworks on top of that.
Do you even need the fireworks though with it?
But if you do it in the nether, or not nether, in the end, like when you're trying to find like more stuff, like all the crazy loot you can get in there, if you jump off like an island, you can use fireworks and coast to island without having to rebuild up.
Oh well, yeah, that's been in the game though.
No, but like.
I thought you were talking about specifically the Trident and fireworks.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't think.
I guess I only did it when the Trident was in the game, so that's why I thought of it.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know. The oceans were really boring before the aquatic update. Well, you couldn't do anything with them.
They had those. What are they called? The Guardian Temples.
Yeah,
but those are terrible.
I mean, they're still cool. You can still farm Guardians. There were still useful things you could do with them.
Have you ever tried to set up a Guardian farm?
I have once, and I did it.
Really? You actually drained all the water?
Yes, I may have used creative.
Dude, you cheated. We did it in normal. It took forever.
I'm sure. That's why I switched to creative to do it. Because I didn't want to go through all that. I just wanted a Guardian farm.
Let me tell you, it wasn't worth it.
Well, it depends on, like, if you're doing a long-term play on a world, I feel like a Guardian farm would be worth it because you get XP from them if you set them up right.
Yeah, but it's just like there's so many better ways to do it. XP. If you get 4 blaze spawners and you put them, it's so much more XP.
I feel like blaze spawners are more difficult source of XP.
No, not at all. You can literally set them up. Like this is how we did it. We had our house, and then like in the roof, we just created a room and put the 4 blaze spawners above it.
But you had to
and then
put
they just
them
wrapped.
there, though. No, but you can't find them like that. You have to use cheats to get them.
Okay, fine. The easiest way to do it would be an Enderman farm.
Yeah, an Enderman farm. Those are pretty good.
Those are insane.
Yeah. I don't know, but I still think a Guardian farm is useful to an extent. And then you get all the prismarines, all the stuff you can do with it. And you get fish.
I guess in the sense of how difficult it is to set up, I don't think it's useful.
I don't know. I think depending on how long you plan on being on that world, I think it pays off in the long term. But maybe short term isn't as great. I don't know. It takes a lot of resources to get it.
I've never got that far into it where
it's useful, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else they did that was crazy. I don't know. I remember when they made it, like, because, like, Xbox had it in, like, 2008, and the map was only so big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the map was the size of a map. That's as far as you could go, and once you'd gone so far, it just, like, walled, like a clear wall.
Oh, yeah.
But in the nether, it was just a giant, what was it, bedrock all around.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. When did they do that? They changed it because it used to be like that in the. You can still have limited worlds. You can still like limit worlds with like barriers and stuff, but they're not. I don't think you can create limited worlds. I think they're always like infinite.
I think on Xbox you can set it.
Oh, on Xbox maybe.
But like I know
on Xbox One.
Like you said, it's not limited on PC. It's infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Which does get annoying though, because then you have to travel a bajillion blocks to find like, what are they called? I still never found one.
I don't know what they're talking about.
They added them right before the Pillager update, or like a couple before. So it was those mansions, the manors.
Oh, the Dark Oak mansions.
Yeah.
Well, if you go into
the library and trade with them.
Yeah, but you can go to Mine Atlas though and put the seed in there, and it'll show you all those
I didn't
things.
want to cheat.
That's not cheating.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know about that.
We used to do that for slime chunks.
You do that you use it for slime chunks. Otherwise, it's so impossible to find a slime chunk.
No, it's not. You know what you do? Well, I play modded, so I just
exactly.
No, but what we used to do when we played before we knew how to do that is we just go underground with TNT and literally just run around and blow everything up.
Well, that's something you could do. Or you could just go to Mine Atlas, put the seed in there, and it'll show you, and you can search for Dark Oak Mansions, and it'll give you coordinates.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can search for all sorts of structures. You can get villages, witch huts.
That's insane.
Water monuments, ocean monuments, different types of biomes. Yeah, it shows everything in the world. Because when you have structures generated on it, it'll be whatever the seed is.
Mm-hmm.
They generate with the seed, so you'll know from the seed where things are.
So that means, have you found the rabbits dungeon?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't searched for it. I don't know.
It's like I forgot. It's the evil bunnies. I don't know if it's real or if
I don't know if this is real. I've never heard of this.
It was just a thing. Dude, I remember someone posting about it, but they're super hard to find.
Was it a modded thing?
I don't think so. It could have been just like a troll for like.
It might have been, because I have no idea.
What is
or maybe I'm just completely unaware of this.
Oh, dude, it was just a cave that spawned and you could find evil bunnies. It's called the Killer Bunny. This is on the Minecraft wiki. I don't know how real this is. It is identical to the pure white rabbits in the game. The killer bunny can be identified as an aggressive behavior and savage red eyes. Unlike rabbits in Minecraft, which will run from the player, the killer bunny will actively seek out players.
I've never heard of this.
It doesn't tell me anything else about it, like how to find it. It just tells me about them.
Huh. I don't know if that's real or not. It doesn't seem like something that would be real. But then again, there's some pretty weird stuff in there, so I don't know.
They have a lot of useless stuff.
Yeah, I noticed.
Like, I don't know. The composter seems so useless.
Really? You can get bone meal from it.
I guess because I just think of a spawner, and that's bone meal.
Yeah, but if you get like, you can get like, they have like zero-tick cactus farms and zero-tick sugarcane farms and stuff that just pump out like that stuff, and you can feed that into I mean, I think a spawner might still be quicker, but you'd have to find the spawner first.
Yeah, because you're getting 3 bone meal per bone.
Yeah. I don't know. It takes... I'm not sure exactly how much it takes to produce bone meal from them, but you can make farms that just feed into them and get bone meal from it. They're not, and they're also good for villagers because obviously it's a workstation for farmers.
Oh yeah.
So if you ever do villager trading, you need them.
The raids were pretty cool when they added those.
Yeah, raids were really buggy at first.
Yeah.
In the snapshots, because they would just load and then they wouldn't ever end.
Yeah, or they wouldn't run to you because they'd get stuck on like one block and it would just... Yeah. That was the worst.
But now that they fixed them, I think they're pretty cool. And they also have like the towers where they do the pillager towers.
I hate those things. Those things are so annoying.
I don't know. But...
And they're not really worth it. Like,
no.
To get to the top of them.
No.
I guess early game.
Yeah.
You're going to die 10 times trying to get up to it.
Yeah, I don't know. But... Yeah, they added a lot of cool stuff. The Ravagers are pretty cool. The big beasts.
Yeah, but you can't tame them.
Well, yeah. They're more like... I don't know. It's kind of weird that you can't tame them. That's a good point. You should be able to tame them.
Yeah.
Maybe not like a horse, though. I don't think you... I think it'd be more like riding a bull than riding a horse. If you could tame them.
Yeah, I guess. Or like riding the llamas. Or the alpacas that you
They're llamas.
ride.
There's no alpacas.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
The llamas are so stupid too. That was a stupid update. That was with the wandering villager.
I hate those. The wandering traders.
Yeah, they
never have anything good.
I know.
Every time I see them, I don't even check anymore. I just kill them. They're useless.
Oh Jesus, you kill them.
Yeah.
I think of the... I can't even think of what it's called now. The phantoms are annoying though.
Yeah.
If you don't know, like I didn't know about them the last time we played.
Oh.
So like at night, obviously, because you don't sleep 3 nights, they come.
Right.
And they just start attacking you. Well, couldn't figure out why they just kept spawning. So I just go in a cave at night, and then like I looked it up why they spawn, and it was because you don't sleep. And I was like, oh, but they repair your elytra, so.
Yeah, the membranes you can use to repair elytra.
Yeah.
Or you could just get mending on them and just repair them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's so much they could do with it.
I'm not a big fan of the drowned. Other than the tridents, which I like, but the fact that they spawn, like you have to light up all the water. Like they can spawn even if you light up the floor.
Yeah.
The whole thing has to be lit up. Like if there's even one block of water that's too dark, they can spawn there.
Yeah.
Which is so annoying. And I guess
they are annoying. I don't get them.
Yeah, they're cool because you can get tridents from them, but I wish they were more like
Oh, and you can get their conch shells.
Yeah.
To make the underwater beacon.
The conduits.
Yeah.
Yeah, the conduits are cool. I like those.
Yeah, it was cool. Like we tried to do an underwater base one time, but it just got more annoying than it was.
Really? I've been able to do them. They're cool.
No, like we did them, but it was just like to me it was just like there's just a lot of work for something that I could have did on land for a lot faster.
I don't know. I think it's cool.
No, it's cool, but it's.
I think it's worth it. I don't know. The thing I wish the drowned were more like villagers, but just underwater. Because they have like those ruined city things underwater, and I just wish they would, like I wish they were just
attack you, but only in that area.
Only if you like go to their villages. They're not like other mobs. That'd be kind of cool. They're just like angry villagers that would attack you if they go into their villages. Yeah, but otherwise, they like stick around there. They don't spawn everywhere in the ocean. They only spawn in those villages. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be a lot nicer. A lot less of a hassle. I still, like, Rotten Flesh is the oldest thing in the book, and it still sucks. There's no use for it.
Yeah, there is really nothing you can do with it.
It's never been useful. Like you can't even I know in mods you can smelt it to make leather, which is what I think they should do with it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you could do with it.
Yeah, I don't see any use for it.
Like I'm trying to think of another item that has completely no use.
If I ever build like a zombie farm, I filter out the rotten flesh and I just destroy it. Yeah. There's no use for it.
Exactly.
But
I can't think of.
You can use it for dogs. Feed it to dogs.
Oh.
I don't know if you can tame them with it, but if like their health is low.
No, I think you can only tame them with
steak.
The bones.
Is it bones? Yeah, this is bones. Yeah.
That's the only thing you can tame.
Yeah, you can feed them steak or you can feed them rotten flesh.
Not to tame them.
Not to tame them, just to get their health back up.
No, I meant tame them.
Yeah. I don't know.
What else they did that broke the game? I don't know. Duplicating was a huge thing when the game came out.
Yeah, I've never really done any sort of item duplicators. The only duplicator I ever use is the TNT duplicators. If they ever get rid of those, I'm gonna be really upset.
What are those?
That's where it duplicates TNT.
I've never used
lit
that.
TNT.
We always dating myself here, but but in Xbox you could, I don't know if it was a PC yet, but if you put your items in a furnace, you deleted it and re-clicked the furnace like right before you were about to delete the furnace and took you could just infinitely take them out. And we'd just fill our inventories like that.
I never played Xbox, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But TNT duplicators are really useful for like infinite cobblestone farms. You can do fully automated cobblestone farms, especially since they changed it so that TNT drops every block. They just recently did that.
Oh.
So that because they used to destroy some blocks and only drop others, but now they have it so that it'll drop every block, which makes more sense, I think.
I like that. They did that for creepers.
I don't think that's as useful.
What do you mean? If a creeper
I guess,
comes in your
you fill in
house
the
and
hole.
destroys your house, you can never repair.
I was thinking on like a farming sense, but yeah.
Even in farming. Oh well, yeah. You're thinking of different. Yeah.
Yeah. Tridents make it a lot easier to get charged creepers though, so I can use a channeling trident.
Yeah, but what do you use a supercharged creeper for besides for getting player heads?
Nothing.
And mob heads.
Nothing. They're just cool. They explode real big.
You can make pigmen in the real world is gonna be the next thing you say.
What?
Yeah, with a trident.
Really?
If you strike a pig with a trident, which
turns
it into a zombie pigman.
Oh yeah. That's really useless, but.
How dare you?
Zombie pigmen are useful in like a gold farm.
Yeah, but
that's their only
use.
Have to
go to like the top of the nether.
Yeah, you just gotta go to the roof up there and build that. And you don't need them in the overworld. There's no use.
Yeah.
But
and then they give you gold swords, which is so annoying.
Yeah.
Because gold swords are completely useless.
It's weird that gold is such a useless thing for armor. It's weird that it's even like...
The only thing I can think gold is actually useful for, besides like redstone stuff, is a beacon.
Yeah.
It's a cheaper alternative to a beacon if you have a gold farm.
You can get golden carrots. They're useful.
Night vision potions.
Yeah. Rails. We already said redstone thing.
Yeah, and they got rid of notch apples, so that kind of kills that.
You can still get golden apples, but yeah, they're not the...
They're not the same. Yeah. They're so not the same.
They don't shine.
No, they don't have that glimmer. And they don't give you like 8 different potion effects when you eat them.
But, yeah, well, I never really cared that much about it. But, I don't know. There's useful things and there's less useful things.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm trying to think of something else. I don't know what else they did.
That's most of the things recently. Oh, I have bamboo.
Oh, and, for pandas?
Yeah, they have bamboo. They have scaffolding was a big thing.
Yeah. But like, yeah, scaffolding was big, but I wish the pandas were tameable.
I mean, what would you do with a tamed panda?
But I could have it, like, I'd like to have a panda follow me around. I thought that was pretty cool. Like, when I heard pandas are coming, I was like, holy cow, you could have, like, pet pandas. And then it was like...
I mean, you can still, you just have to creative in mind.
That's cheating.
Yeah, but...
That's why I like mods, because then it's like, here's your lasso, where you can just pick them up and just run with them.
You can... I don't think you can put a lead on a panda, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I know you can with, like, cows and pigs and stuff that you can't tame.
Mm-hmm.
And still like drag them around. I don't know if you can with a panda or not. I've never tried it.
I don't know. All I know is if you like normal Minecraft, don't play modded Minecraft. It'll make normal Minecraft feel awful.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna dislike regular vanilla Minecraft. I'm pretty enjoying of it. So I don't know.
It's pretty crazy to think that it's... I don't know how old it is, but over 10 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's still one of the most popular games ever. Even though it wasn't... Like, it was popular, but I'd say, like, 2012 was when it got actually really popular.
And I think it's right back up there now. It dipped for a few years, but then it's still right up by the top again. So, I don't think it's going away.
I don't think it dipped. I just think everybody, like, a lot of people went to different games, but, like, the main base of it still was there. Like, it was just new games came out, and, like, more younger kids got into playing video games, so they missed Minecraft, and they came up with other games. Because, like, Minecraft's been pretty steady with its player numbers. Like, it's only gone up.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty much the perfect, like, sandbox game that I've ever seen. It's probably...
I definitely think people would fight you with Gary's mod on that one.
I don't know about that. I think as a that's a little bit different though. That's Gary's a different kind
fun.
though.
I don't like Gary's mod that much, but it is so much fun.
That's a bit of a different type of sandbox game. This is like a survival sandbox game where you have to gather resources and.
Oh, I guess yeah. Gary's Mod Sandbox is just here's a car.
Exactly.
Here's a rail gun. See this explosion.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Like, if you get the right people playing it, and then like what Gary's Mod has is so many different game modes with prop hunt, TTT,
yeah,
and all that stuff.
I think that's more fun depending on the group you have playing with it. Minecraft you can play by yourself for hours and still have just as much fun.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't think of that.
I did try to do a world download of Avatar: Last Airbender map. It didn't work for some reason. Like I loaded up the world and it, unless it's really spread out, it's mostly ocean, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does.
No.
The whole center of the map, like if you look at the map, is ocean.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is. You have like the four nations, and then it's just the middle is ocean.
No,
I'm pretty sure if you.
There's a bunch of islands though.
Oh, I guess yeah.
There's like a ton of islands down in the south, which is where you're. It said when I on the site where I got the download from, it said that you'd spawn on Whaletail Island in the south, which is like between the Southern Air Temple and the.
Did you?
Water tribe. No, I spawned in the middle of the ocean.
Not on an island?
Not on an island. Nowhere near an island.
How did you load up the... Did you drag the world map into your...
Into the saves file.
I think you have to drag it into the worlds file. Like, so when you start up you'd have to put it in your worlds thing. Like, I think what you do is you'd create a new world, you wouldn't join it yet, and what you'd do is you'd find that in your computer, open the worlds folder, and it will tell you what you're using, take that out, and replace it with that.
Yeah, that could work. I see what you mean.
I think that's what you have to do. Yeah, you have to create it, not join it, take the map out, and put that in, and I think it should work.
Yeah, create it, load it up, and then... Well, you can't create it and not load it up.
Oh, you can't?
I don't think so. You'd have to load it up and then delete everything in it and then drag in the downloaded file. Maybe. I don't know. Because when I went to then take the download, I went to take the seed, but there isn't a seed for it because it's a world download. I was going to plug the seed into my atlas, but then I was like, can't get to it. There's people that know a lot more than this about this than I do because I'd never really downloaded anything.
Both of us.
Yeah. I've looked up custom seeds to get specific things, but I've never done a downloaded world. I don't know. But maybe I'll try it again later, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's that. If you just create the new world, go into that file, and then go into the worlds folder and take that out and replace it. It should load it just fine.
I'll try that again later. I might have to re-download it.
Though.
I know, that's what I was thinking. There was no structures, I don't think. It was just the map.
Oh.
But it did have like all the right biomes and everything in the right spot. Like the deserts and like the Great Divide was a big canyon thing.
You can make Ba Sing Se.
I could make. That's what I was thinking.
Like redoing it.
Ba Sing Se is huge. Dude, if you look at the map, you see how big Ba Sing Se is
compared to everything else. Yeah,
it's massive. It's like an entire state is one city. But then like when they go to it, it's like there's the outer wall, and then there's all that farmland inside, and then there's the inner wall, which is the actual city. Mm-hmm. So Ba Sing Se is just like the province.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know. They dive more into the politics of it in Legend of Korra, and I think it ruins it. But.
So you did watch it.
Some of it. Not a big fan.
Like, what do you mean not a big fan? Like, couldn't watch it? It was that bad? Or why?
So the very beginning of Legend of Korra, when they have the White Lotus going around exploring claims of the new Avatar, like to the northern and southern water tribes, because they know it's going to be in the water tribes. And they go to Korra's family, and they go in there, and she's 5. This 5-year-old girl, and she's bending water, earth, and fire already as a 5-year-old. Which sucks. Because, like, you miss... Like, the reason they do it, or, like, like how the fans defend that choice is like, we spent 3 seasons in Avatar watching him
learn it. I get that, because you don't want to, like...
But, like, he did other things, too. He wasn't just learning the elements.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of being the Avatar is they travel around the world getting masters for the elements, and, like, they have to learn about the world that you're protecting. Mm-hmm. Like, the journey around the world is part of being the Avatar. And the fact that she already knows these elements before she's even had a teacher in them. And then they cut to the future where she's older, and she's still in the Southern Water Tribe. Like, she's never left. And they bring in masters to teach her. So she doesn't even get to go on the global journey that all the other avatars went on.
Yeah, from what I remember, it all mainly took place in the same city.
Yeah. Well, she goes to... Like, she stays in the Southern Water Tribe, and they bring in firebending masters and earthbending masters, and Katara's there as her waterbending teacher.
Wait, then when did she go to the fight arena?
To learn air, she has to go back to Republic City, which is where Tenzin, who's Aang's son, lives, which is where the fighting arena is.
Aang's son, not Aang and Katara's
Aang
son?
Katara's son.
Oh.
Okay. He lives on Air Temple Island, which is an island in the bay of Republic City. Which is so lame. Like, her learning experience of the 4 elements takes place in 2 locations.
Yeah.
In a city.
Show take place in 2 locations?
Well, they go to the Earth Kingdom a little bit. And there is this one subplot where it's, I didn't watch into it because I noticed it happens in one of the later seasons. Or at least later in season 1, because I only got through the first few, like 3 episodes, I think. Mm-hmm. But there is a subplot with a civil war between the Northern and Southern Water Tribe, which is kind of an interesting concept. But then they abandon it, like, right away. Which is, I don't know.
Besides Katara, is there anybody else in the Southern Water Tribe that can waterbend?
Yeah. Because remember, at the end of Avatar, Paku, the waterbending master, him and a few others went down there to help rebuild it.
Oh, yeah.
Because he got back together with their grandmother.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I forgot about that. I was just like...
Yeah.
I just remember the beginning. It was like Katara was the last of them.
But then... And then obviously all the men from war, which none of them were waterbenders, the Southern Water Tribe, but they were still...
Imagine that's your army. A bunch of non-benders.
Well, yeah, because all the benders were taken.
Benders.
Yeah. All the benders were taken, yeah.
No, I know, but it's just like, that's...
Yeah, exactly. Which is... It's a surprise that the Southern Water Tribe still exists, but then again, why would the Fire Nation conquer it? Because, like, they already took all the benders.
Yeah.
Which is the only serious threat. And they have still the Navy that's still around, which is like that one fleet of like 6 ships. But like, and they do work. They do some damage to the Fire Nation. But what would conquering the Southern Water Tribe do? It's one small village.
It gives you a lot of water.
Yeah.
I don't know what else
they live on an island, Shane. They already have a ton of water.
Don't tell them that. They want more water.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know what you would get from it.
Exactly. That's why. So, but they rebuilt the Southern Water Tribe at the end of Avatar. There's just a lot of things in Legend of Korra that, first of all, the entire concept of what is it? The United Republic. That's the name of the new country that's founded by Aang and Zuko, which is the Fire Nation colonies in the Earth Kingdom were just turned into this new country instead of just being given back to the Earth Kingdom.
That's kind of dumb.
Which doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't they just give it back to the Earth Kingdom? And then there's another plot where the Earth Queen and there's like an Earth Empire where they try to reconquer it for the Earth Kingdom. And like, they're right.
It was theirs, yeah.
It was theirs. It was taken in the war. So I don't understand. And we're supposed to be against them getting back their land. I mean, the Earth Queen is like terrible person, but still, it's still their. Right. She's right. It's still their land. I don't get it. I don't understand why they couldn't just give it back, but whatever. I think it's supposed to be like an allegory for America. Like a lot of it is because the entire thing, Republic City, is basically just New York in the 1920s.
Oh.
Which is...
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's so lame. Like, I don't want to see bending in this sort of New York, what it would be like in New York. Because, like, all the technology is the same as what we have.
Yeah.
But I feel like having bending would change it so much more than it did. Yeah, you could
do so much more that you wouldn't even need.
I mean, there is one thing they do, which is kind of interesting, where they have, like a blue-collar job for firebenders, where they use lightning to power, like, it's like electrical grid. They shoot lightning.
Yeah, but that would take, like, I don't know. I don't feel like you need someone to do that constantly.
They have, like, a team of people doing it. But that defeats the whole point of being able to bend lightning as being, like, this masterful technique. Like, in Avatar, when Iroh was trying to teach Zuko how to create lightning, he explained that only a select few firebenders are able to find the balance in order to create lightning, because it's so different from other firebending techniques, because it's not fueled by emotion.
Yeah.
So it's a extremely advanced technique, but these people can just do it. Like it. Like it took
we're
nothing.
Also like 80 years after Avatar. Yeah. I get what you're saying, but they're also 80 years after Avatar.
I just think that it should be more of a skilled thing, and it shouldn't be so easily acquired.
No, I get what you're saying, but she doesn't use it, does she?
I don't think so. Not that I know.
That would suck. If Korra used it, because she's not even a... Oh, man, they should have continued.
They should have just continued. I feel like Aang and Zuko trying to rebuild the world after 100 years of war would be an interesting show.
Yeah.
Because, like, not everyone would trust them. There would be huge rebellions. Like, even in the Fire Nation, there's still going to be loyalty to Ozai and Azula.
Yeah.
That he would have to deal with. And they'd have to, like, dealing with the Earth Kingdom, because 100 years of war, you don't just trust the nation that you're at war with all that time. I mean, the people that know Zuko and know Aang would, but why would people that never met them have any reason to believe that they're different from the other Fire Lords before?
I think it would have been cool not to do like what you said would be cool, but also do a point of view from like inside the Earth Kingdom the whole 100 years.
So they just like take place at the same time.
Yeah. But like with different characters, or like see what happened to the Kyoshi warriors, or I don't know.
What could have been cool is if they took like a different avatar, like from way back that we'd never seen, and did a story about him.
The one right before would be cool.
Roku?
Yeah.
They did an episode that basically did his whole story, though.
I know, but like to see more would be sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, they could do Roku or Kyoshi.
No, because I'd like to see like the whole, like, because it was mostly done in like a book style. In that there was no like, I don't know, that's how I felt. It was more like it was book style in comparison to how Avatar was.
Meaning,
like, didn't they have it like when they were going up the hill? It was just like pictures drawn of them. Like, it wasn't actually them going up the hill, was it?
What are you talking about?
Okay, never mind.
I don't know who's going up this hill.
It was when the Avatar and the what was his name? The Earth guy, because the Earth guy was the best friend of the last Avatar before.
There was an episode called The Avatar and the Fire Lord, with Fire Lord Sozin and his friend Avatar Roku.
Okay.
They were friends. They did an entire episode explaining their story and how Roku tried to stop Sozin from starting the war, because Sozin was the one that started the war. He was Ozai's grandfather.
Yeah.
And he let him live. Like, he didn't kill him because of their friendship. So he spared him, but he threatened that if he ever did anything else, he wouldn't stop. But then they showed how Roku died because, like, his home island was like a volcanic island in the Fire Nation, and the volcano started to erupt, and he was fighting the volcano, and Sozin came to help him. But then when it came time that they had to leave, like, there was nothing more they could do, Sozin just left him there. And he died. That's how Roku died. And that's when, and the war started right after that, because that's when, with Roku out of the way, Sozin was able to start the war.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of, that showed, like, the beginning of Roku, before he knew it was the Avatar. Like, him growing up as best friends with the Fire Prince.
Oh, okay.
And then it showed his end. So there isn't a whole lot they could do with that, I don't think, because you already know the starting point and the end point.
Yeah, and
you kind of know what happens.
You forget that. Okay, I shouldn't have said it like that. I should, because I was thinking the Avatar took place during the war, but I forget Aang just kind of vanished for like 100 years. So
it took place at the end of the war.
Yeah.
So there is a lot. There's still 100 years of
That's
war
what I
that you could show, like, but it wouldn't have the
I'd
Avatar.
Like to watch the whole ending of what happened, like the start of the downfall of the Fire Nation starting to take over, and then once the Avatar dies, and then he goes full.
That's when when they start the war.
Yeah.
But that would be an interesting show, because it would be Avatar, but the Avatar couldn't be in it.
Yeah, because he's not there.
He's between when he died and when he's frozen in ice.
Yeah.
There's no Avatar, but there's 100 years of war that could still be interesting. Although I don't know whose perspective it would have to follow.
I think it should just go from the Fire Nation.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I don't know.
Like how he took over. That'd be sweet. I'd watch it.
Yeah. I don't know. It would, like, covering, like, the genocide of the air nomads, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because when Aang was little, that was the only air temple, right?
No. There was all 4.
Okay, when he came back, there was
nothing. Because he ran away.
Oh, yeah.
And after he ran away, that's when they were all slaughtered. And then he was frozen in ice when he came back 100 years later. They were all gone. Because that was the first thing. With the comet, Sozin used the power of the comet to wipe out the air nomads. And what he wanted to do was stop it before the Avatar was born. Before the new Avatar was born. So that he wouldn't be able to be born.
Would that actually work?
I don't know.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
But so how long in between when the Avatar dies and when the... Oh, but I guess he would have just killed all the children, so it doesn't matter.
But if because he killed the children and he killed the Avatar after he was born, he would just be reborn in the Water Tribe.
Oh.
So he had to kill him. He had to kill all of them before the Avatar was born.
How does that... But he already killed the Earth Avatar. He
killed Roku. Was the
yeah? So it would the moment he killed Roku, there would have been an.
I don't know if it's right away he's born. It's weird.
Yeah, they didn't really explain that because I always took it as it was right away. I don't want them to
explain that. That's what something Korra did wrong. Is they explained how the Avatar came to be. They did a thing with like an ancient. There's basically how do they do it? There's a dark spirit and a light spirit. And every 10,000 years, they would have a battle. And eventually, the light spirit teamed up with a... Oh, no, I'm just saying... Like, the light spirit teamed up with a human, and that human became the Avatar, who was literally the avatar of the light spirit. Like, he would be the light spirit's avatar in the mortal world. But, like...
I didn't mean, like... I just meant, like... Does
like
it
the
come
reincarnation
right after,
cycle?
or is it like seconds later?
I don't think they have to explain that. The reincarnation cycle. I think it's just like sometime soon after he just reincarnates. I don't know. But yeah, that was Sozin's plan, and it obviously didn't work.
What a shame.
I know. What he should have done is killed all the water tribe first, and then killed the air nomads. So then, like,
it would have guaranteed it.
Yeah, because like, even if the Avatar was already born by the time he killed the air nomads,
he probably wouldn't have enough time.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think it would have been more beneficial during the comet to just kill the
water tribes.
Because if you kill the water tribe, then
you break the cycle later on. But the water tribe has time to rebuild.
No, but if you went for the both, you would have got rid of them both, and then because waters, like I feel like fire would be easier to fight air than the water tribe.
Yeah, the air nomads don't have an army. They don't have a military. So
so you can just go in at any time.
Yeah, so taking out the water tribe would have been more effective.
It would have been better during the combat.
Because the water tribe has an army and can fight back. The air nomads you can take out, and they don't have any formal military. But that being said, they're still formidable. Like, they still can fight.
No, that's what I mean, but it's... I don't see air doing as much as water to a firebender, is what I was saying.
I think, it would be weird, it would be interesting if instead of the air nomads being wiped out, the water tribes were wiped out. I wonder what the air nomads would do if they were around during the 100 Years' War. Like, I don't know what effect they would have. I don't know if they would form an army, or if they would just try to stay out of the conflict entirely.
I think so.
Like, but what if the Fire Nation came after them during the war, like after the war already started? Mm-hmm. Like, the reason there was no help for them initially is because there was no war yet. It was like the first strike. Yeah. But if it was after the war started and like they were allied, even if they weren't like militarily allied, they're still politically allied with like the Earth Kingdom. Yeah. I think it'd be an entirely different thing. But I don't know.
I can't imagine. It would be cool to see it without the water tribe, but I don't think you couldn't do that though with Aang without the water tribe.
Meaning?
What do you mean? His whole first
he couldn't
season
learn water
was
bending,
all
right.
water bending.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you still could. There was the water benders in the swamp.
I didn't even think about that.
You could learn water bending from someone else.
No, yeah.
But he didn't know they were there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how he would have done that. The thing with Korra, that in terms of, like, Aang learned waterbending first, because that was, like, the order of how he's supposed to learn it. And waterbending came the easiest to him, because it was the most...
It was next in line.
It was the most similar to airbending, too.
Yeah. No, I remember they said that, or at least I thought they said the next in line was the easiest one to learn.
Yeah, usually it would be, because, like, if you think about the opposites for each element, Earth would be the opposite of air, which was the hardest one for Aang to learn was Earth. Because that was the one he struggled with the most. But the only reason he took so long to learn fire is because he was scared to learn it. Because the first time he did it, and he was good at it, but he burned Katara. Yeah. So that's why he struggled learning that. But skill-wise, it wasn't that hard for him to learn. Earthbending was the one that was... Because earthbending is so different from airbending. But Korra ruined that by, for some reason, instead of fire being the hardest one for her to learn, which would have been the opposite of waterbending, air was the hardest one for her to learn. Which shouldn't be, because air should be the easiest for her to learn.
Okay, again, just guessing. I thought it was the one, like the Avatar before was the harder element to learn.
No, I'm just speaking... No, it would be the last one you would learn.
Why?
No, yeah, it would be the last one she learned, I think. Yeah. But it wouldn't be the hardest. I think it's just, it's whatever's most opposite to the element you're naturally, like your tribe is. Yeah. Is the hardest for you to learn. Like, water is the opposite of fire, so fire would be the hardest. And air is the opposite of earth.
No, yeah. Okay, it does make sense like that.
But she learned firebending as a 5-year-old.
Heck yeah, dog. Got trained and young.
But she was in the Southern Water Tribe. How would she even... I don't understand how she would learn that.
I know what you mean. It doesn't make sense.
She wouldn't have had a teacher to teach her that. Same with earthbending. There's not even much earth there because it's all covered in snow and ice. But whatever. And then the whole thing with her is that she ignores the spiritual side of bending and only practices and learns the physical stuff.
So that's her limit and flaw in the whole show.
Yeah, that's her journey is to learn the spiritual side of bending. She masters the combat and physical stuff, but she has to learn
like how Aang did with the panda taking him to the
it's
that
sort
spiritual side.
No, the martial the art form of it.
Oh.
The actual spiritual nature of being the avatar. The avatar isn't just the master of all 4 elements. They're the balance, the bridge between the spirit world and the real world, or our world. So that part she doesn't learn. And the White Lotus gets upset with her for that. But it's their fault because they're the ones keeping her in the South Pole instead of her going to learn from masters all around the world, which is the spiritual journey that they're supposed to go on as an avatar. So they're upset with her for not getting the spiritual part, but it's their fault.
Yeah, and she doesn't obviously she doesn't explore at all. She doesn't defend anything as the avatar.
Right.
At least Aang, he was doing helping the people who needed help in the cities when he traveled. But I don't feel like she didn't do any of that.
She kind of did that in Republic City, but she didn't really leave that city.
No, that's what I mean. She didn't travel around to help everybody, which I thought was what the Avatar was supposed to do. It was supposed to go around to help everybody.
Yeah, I feel mastering the elements would have come first, though. She was in Republic City because she still hadn't mastered airbending, and that's where her airbending teacher was. But there was another thing with all the elements, I think, that they fundamentally changed how bending worked in terms of the martial arts themselves. They invent instead of having them rooted in their specific fighting styles and martial art styles, they combined things and they added in boxing and newer forms of art or fighting. Instead of, I feel they're missing the movement should have been important to the actual bending.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to do any movement and get the same effect. When they're in the pro bending arenas, they just punch and that's how they throw stuff. The guy is boxing and he punches and then a disc flies and that's earthbending.
That's lame.
I know. There should be a whole when Toph talked about it and she was teaching Aang, the whole point was that you would be rooted to the ground and become part of it and use the earth as an extension of yourself. Mm-hmm. But they can do it on their toes and like a boxer, light on their feet, which is the exact opposite of how earthbending is supposed to be done.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be rooted and immovable, not light on your feet, which is why Aang had such a problem learning it. It's because he was so used to being light on his feet, and because he was an airbender. I don't know. I think there's just combining them like that shouldn't work. The actual martial arts themselves and the movements are specifically the way they are for a reason.
Yeah.
They're not just like that because that's how it looks cool. They're like that because that's how you have to act for the bending to work.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying. I don't know. Korra doesn't sound that good.
It's not. I don't like it. I really don't. It just ruins. Oh! There's another thing. flying is a thing now. Not like with a glider or like creating a vortex around you and moving. Just straight up flying. There's an airbender who's like, he's a evil airbender, and he creates the ability to fly. Just, he looks like he's on a string.
Yeah.
That's a thing. And he's also an anarchist.
That's pretty sweet.
That's his villain. Yeah. I feel like mastering airbending, you shouldn't be able to do that without like the connection to the spiritual side of it. That's the whole point behind airbending, is that. But you shouldn't. I don't know. Like he says before he flies, he says he detaches himself from the material world and the earthly plane or something. I don't know what exactly he said. But he detached himself and entered the void, and then he flew. But like, if you detached yourself from the earth, and like the earthly desires, I think is what it was, I feel like you wouldn't be evil anymore. Like his desire, like he wanted to kill someone, and he took them hostage, and he flew with them. If you detached yourself from earthly desires, you wouldn't desire to kill them anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
You wouldn't. Your whole motivation would be destroyed because it wouldn't work. I just think.
I think it was because I don't think they had the same writers.
No, the main writer wasn't there. I think.
So it's like, no, I don't think either of the two writers were there.
I don't know. Maybe. I just think. I feel like there's a lot of studio involvement too, with Nickelodeon wanting to be more
politically correct.
More like darker and like serious, quote unquote, for more mature audiences.
More edgy.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
It's edgier, but it's not better. That doesn't make it better, which is something they missed out on because they wanted it to be. Because by the time Korra came out, the people that were watching Avatar were older.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to pander to that older audience, because that was who loved the show initially, and the people that their fan base would be made up of.
Yeah.
So that's why, which makes sense. But at the same time, I still like the original Avatar just as much now. So why would you change it?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's another thing they did that annoyed me?
I don't know. Sounds like everything about that show annoyed you.
A lot of it did. That's why I couldn't sit through a lot of it. Metal bending makes sense that metal bending is more common. Like after Toph learned it, she would have passed it down, like because she has a daughter now. Which is weird because I don't know who it's with. I guess it's a relationship she got off screen. But there is a new member of the Beifong family, Lin Beifong, I think is her name. But I feel like metal bending is a thing that you can't just do. You have to be a master earthbender before you can metal bend. In the same way you have to be a master firebender before you can use lightning.
Yeah, I think that's how it should go.
Yeah. You shouldn't be
I think
able
if you're
to...
a master airbender, then you should be able to fly.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
No, I get it.
It looks
but
clunky and bad. I don't know. I think the way that they were able to fly with the gliders and
that was
stuff,
cool.
that was cool.
And like with the...
And how he did it with
in the wheelchair.
Oh.
Like, he did the hang glider wheelchair thing.
Yeah, he wasn't an airbender, but yeah.
No, but like they did that.
Right.
They flew with that.
Yeah, that's true. That was cool. But when you can just fly just because you entered the void and detached yourself from earthly desires doesn't make sense.
Oh man, they could have did so many more animals that were cool that flew.
They do bring back lemurs or a thing again. There's like a bunch of them back, like Momo.
A bunch of momos.
Basically, they don't look like Momo. They look a little different, which is weird. They look like a different species of flying lemur.
Well,
maybe.
It has been another like 80 years.
60, 70 years, yeah. I think it's specifically 60 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Aang didn't live that long. He was like 66 when he died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Katara looked really old.
Katara, yeah, because this is This is well after Aang died. Because
That's
Korra
true.
is like in her 20s now. Her early 20s. So this is at least 20 years after Aang died. So, yeah, Katara's in her 80s probably. So yeah, that makes sense. Sokka, they mentioned that Sokka's gone.
They're like, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, basically. Toph is still around.
Don't you see her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see her. Zuko's still Fire Lord.
Okay. That's cool.
He's pretty old. He looks a lot like Roku. He's got like the long white beard and everything. He looks cool, but I don't know.
I don't know. I felt Legends of Korra. Korra seemed very steampunk-ish.
It is. It's a lot of the technology does make sense that it would advance like that, especially since the Fire Nation technology was so far ahead of the rest of the world at the end of the war.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're helping to rebuild the world, like a lot of their technology would become more mainstream in other cultures.
Yeah.
Like they would, and then it's another 60 years of engineering and stuff on top of that, which would also build up. But I don't know. They definitely miss out on a lot of bending stuff with all this steampunk shit that they focus on for no reason.
No, yeah, it was definitely the fight arenas that took me out of it.
Yeah,
show.
especially since
get into it.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time with that for some reason.
That was all I remember from this show. It's like literally every episode was something to do with a fight arena.
Well, the two side characters are like sidekicks. Whatever.
Yeah, they're a part of that.
Yeah, that's where she meets them. Thing. And that's kind of an interesting thing because one of them's a firebender, the other one's an earthbender, and they're brothers because they're one of their parents was from the Earth Kingdom, the other was from the Fire Nation, which is kind of an interesting idea that they would still be able to bend, but different elements. But at the same time, I don't like it. I don't like a firebender being related to like an earthbender. I feel like it takes away from the whole Earth Kingdom thing and being earthbenders and Fire Nation being firebenders. And like, which is the whole point of Republic City is like it's like New York and that is the melting pot of different people from other cultures and stuff. Which I don't like. I liked the idea what was in the original series where the Earth Kingdom where the Earthbenders were and the Fire Nations where the Firebenders were, and like seeing the different cultures because they traveled around the world and seeing how different they were. I don't like that it's basically just a big city and anyone can be anything, and it kind of, I don't know, I just I like seeing how the bending in one culture shapes how the city runs and stuff, like how in Bossing, say, they had the trains powered by earthbenders. Yeah. And, like, in Omashu, they had, like, those earthbending... The
slides.
The mail system and stuff.
Yeah, that was sweet.
And, like, how in the Fire Nation, they would have firebenders powering stuff with firebending. And how...
The air temples had, like, the doors were all air.
Exactly.
So you could open them like that.
I like seeing how the different elements shape the culture. And that's something that they missed out in, just making everything steampunk and 1920s New York style stuff.
Yeah.
But